What's up, guys? This is Pam here, and today I'm gonna talk about why I left Emirates and a little bit more of my experience. I made a video early on and where I just spoke Portuguese direct to my Brazilian public, but now I'm gonna talk about in English so everyone worldwide seeing my YouTube channel can understand what happened to me. So a little bit of my story. I started being Emirates cabin crew back in 2012, and it was a big deal for me. I had never left my country before, and I was already packing and going to live in a new world. When I first arrived in Dubai, I had a couple issues. The heat, when I got there, was summertime in July, so the heat gave me rashes and some allergic reactions on my skin. It was a little bit of woe for me, even though I was from Brazil. I was not used to have like over 100 Fahrenheit degrees or over 40 for those of you who use Celsius. But then I carry on. I kept going with my training and everything. They provided me like some medical assistance while I was doing, my training and everything. And they gave me some recommendations: stay out of the sun and a couple other things for me to do. The training was really cool. I really loved. My favorite part was to go sliding down the slide raft from the aircraft and getting prepared for 90 seconds evacuation. That was like the best. I also had a lot of fun doing this. Service training was pretty cool, like serving other people and just being around and making fun of everything and etc. The reason why I left Emirates was because of my health. A lot of cabin crew at Emirates, they complain about the company and things they're supposed to do and this and that, which in my opinion wasn't the problem for me. I think people sometimes they complain about things more than you should, and I used to keep myself kind of away of the crew during like the breaks between a meal and another service. So I was always like constantly out in the cabin talking to passengers, being silly, being funny, because I just want to keep the negative energy away from me, because I'm a like super positive vibe person. But anyway, I had two flights where I think it was Dubai to London or London to Dubai, I can't remember. Anyway, I had a situation aboard of the aircraft. My lungs didn't expand as they should because of my asthma. And for some reason in Dubai, my asthma was really bad. I don't know if it was because of the heat or anything, but back in those days, I didn't know. Now I know I am extremely allergic to dust mites. So I do need like some prescriptions and my inhaler for asthma and a lot of other, care that I wasn't aware back then, because I was never exposed to such a place with a huge amount of dust and sand and whatever it was. So I had my first bad experience was on the flight. I think it was a 9 hours flight. I can't remember to where, but I was going back to Dubai, and during the takeoff my lungs didn't expand as they should. So I needed an inhaler and to chill for a little bit, and then my lungs were back to normal, and I did the service and I worked throughout the flight with no issue. The second time was a London to Dubai flight, and my lungs again didn't expand as they should, so I actually fainted in a galley. I remember I was sitting on my jump seat and I was all the way back, like all the way to the front of the A380. And sorry, I'm just a little bit emotional with all of the story. So I was all the way in the front seat with the purser and my other senior, and I was like, I need to get up now. I forgot to get my inhaler. My inhaler's in the galley and I really need it right now because I can't breathe. And the person was like, take a deep breath. Come on, girl, you can do it. take a deep breath, calm down, we're gonna be done soon. We were just like really in the middle of the takeoff, and usually there is like a 10 minutes thing that they avoid us to get up, or anyone else in the aircraft, in case we have a reject takeoff or something like that. So I remember I was struggling in my jump seat and really trying my best not to freak out and get nervous or anything like that, and trying to take deep breaths and stuff, but I felt that something was wrong with my lungs. So when the purser gave me the sign for me to get up and go run to the galley, when I got there, I just passed out on the ground. And so other crew, I think they put me in a jump seat, and the co-pilot came down to the galley to see what was going on, because they saw on the camera that something was going on in the galley. And I used like 2 oxygen bottles. I couldn't work throughout the flight. I had to sit in the cockpit and go with the pilots to Dubai. It was like 6.5 or 7 hours flight, and I can work. They had a crew down economy, so I was with the pilots in the cockpit with an oxygen bottle and a blanket. And I remember that I slept like for 5 hours, literally, because I was like struggling for so long, like 2 hours to, like, you know, trying to breathe and take and recover from me fainting, that by the time that I was actually with the oxygen bottles and stuff in the cockpit, I just passed out, and I just woke up when we landed in Dubai. So for that reason, when I landed, I already had my manager calling me like, oh, you have an attendance meeting. Because in Dubai, unfortunately, they kind of don't care about these things, like the medical things. First of all, if they had diagnosed me properly, they just kept sending me home and saying, oh, you have a code, you have a code, you have a code. And I didn't have a code. I had something else going on. So they never diagnosed me properly with an Emirates clinic, and the doctors there, they just kept telling me that I had a cold and giving me Tylenol, paracetamol, wherever the heck was for cold and flu, and I didn't have a cold and flu. I had something else going on, something that was triggering my asthma. So anyway, after those 2 scary flights, I said, you know what, I'm gonna quit, because I spoke to my manager a couple of times about it, saying, and then she was just like, oh, you're partying it too much and all of these things. And I'm like, no, I'm not partying. I don't smoke. I never did drugs. I go out, but I rarely drink because of my lungs. So I mean, I get super tired and stuff. So I'm like, no, I'm not, you know. And she was like, oh, whatever, all this new cabin crew, you know, like partying and drinking and blah blah blah. And I wasn't one of them, you know. Anyway, so I resigned and I moved back. I stayed in London for a while, then I moved back to Brazil. And when I got to Brazil, I actually went to see some doctors, and what they diagnosed me with was that I had some serious allergies going on, and I also have a deviated septum, which I had a surgery last year to fix it. So I mean, like, the medical part at Emirates, it's really bad. You know, you hear other cases about it, you know. And the thing is with the airline is just like, Emirates is a big airline and everybody wants to work for them, so they have like 1 million people to select from. And in my case, I was kind of disappointed, because I was hoping that someone, you know, from that Emirates clinic would diagnose exactly what was going on with me, and then I would get a treatment that I needed, and I just, you know, would keep going with my career. But I just got a warning from a manager because I was sick on the flight, and because I had like a couple of sick days, but just because those people from the headquarters kept sending me home as I had a flu, which I never had a flu, I had something else going on, and I got, you know, in trouble because of their bad evaluation. But rather than that, like, working for Emirates was really fun. I mean, I got to do a lot of things that I didn't want to do, that I wanted to do, and places that I've never thought that I would be. So it was a great experience. I made a lot of friends from different nationalities. I learned a lot of languages, like, you know, those little things here and there. I learned a lot about the culture, and I extremely recommend. But if you have anything related to health issue, don't go just with the doctors inside Emirates clinic. You know, I wish I knew that, because I was so young and it was like very naive. It was my first country, you know, outside of my own home country. So I was really naive back then, you know what I mean? Like, I kind of felt like I had no not support, but like, I don't know, maybe someone to give me advice. You know, I was the first person in my family actually traveling abroad and speaking a second language and all of these things. So anyway, my advice for you, if you want to join Emirates, it's a great job. You're gonna have long hours though. You're gonna work a lot. You're gonna have like more flying hours than you're gonna have on ground, but it's fine, it's great, you can do it. The accommodations are pretty amazing. People there are very nicely, very friendly. We have like people from all over the globe, and everyone is, you know, there for you, like in the way that you're gonna find your own tribe and your own nice friends to hang with. But if you do have any health issue or anything related to it, please don't go just to Emirates clinic. Go to other doctors, pay a private consultation with someone else, and get diagnosed properly. Because once you get into this loop of, you know, having something and they just send you home, like if you were sick because you had a cold or a flu or whatever it is, you're gonna have trouble, you know, with your manager and the roots, because they don't want people to get sick. They want people to work and work and work and work. You know, you were hired to work, not to get sick. So that's my advice for everyone out there. Rather than my health, everything else was really great. I loved being around other people, flying everywhere, not having a routine, and just, oh, something else that I think it was very important as well. I couldn't sleep that much because I already have insomnia. So with the flights and jet lag and everything, it was really hard for me to sleep. So please try to find the best way for your body to work with your rosters and your new routine, your new life, because it's really important to sleep. Anyway, that's all from me, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Take care. Bye bye.